Hey guys, Matt with CJ Off-Road here. Now we're standing in front of our Devil's Backbone trail, and you might remember this from about a year ago when we decided to build this trail in the back end of our property. Now we had a ton of fun doing that the first opportunity we went through it, and it was just a giant mess to get it done. But overall, we got to the end and we weren't able to make an exit because the swamp was just so mucky and full of just anything you could think of. Mud, muck, skag, whatever they call it. It was just disgusting back there. So we never really got an opportunity to make a complete trail and go around and have a exit. We went around and then we'd have to turn around and come back here, which really wasn't that much fun. Now within the past couple days, I'm in my full Ranger Rick outfit here, and I've been out here working with the Bobcat as well as Brendan. We've been killing ourselves, throwing down some new logs, some new dirt, and creating a couple obstacles as well as an exit. So today, the biggest goal is to show you guys an update of our Devil's Backbone trail and show you why we personally built a trail here and all the opportunities we're gonna have with the fall season coming along. Now that the trees start to kind of wither away and the leaves start to fall, we'll be really able to open this up and show you guys the articulation of the lift kits when we install them on our brand new Jeeps, our older Jeeps, and our brand new Gladiators. So that being said, we're gonna hop in our two-door Mojito, which does absolutely awesome on the trail, and give you guys a tour of what we decided to do over the past year. You know, here and there we added on a couple things. When we first started building this thing, this swamp really owned us. It treated us badly, it ran us through the ringer, and it just kind of smacked me in the face. But I gotta tell you what, guys, now this is my swamp. Okay guys, so we hopped in our Jeep. The first thing that we do when we're going on the trails is put on our seatbelt. Now there's a lot of YouTube safety monitors that like to check on this, but I am putting on my seatbelt. Now what I'm gonna do is put this upper strap behind my back so it doesn't hit the mic and you guys can hear what I'm talking about. We're only gonna be going about 2 miles an hour and I've still got the lap belt on. So one of our cameramen is actually up front, Justin, who helped build this trail initially last year around SEMA time. Brendan's standing outside. He's gonna be spotting me and kind of just keeping an eye on the trail while we go through. He helped build this for the past year and kind of work with it. So let's got it. We got it in drive and 4 low. First obstacle is gonna be the bridge. Now last year when we built this bridge, it took probably 50 logs, 20 or 30 buckets worth of concrete, and any scrap we could find along the property, and it's still all sunk in. Now we've got railroad ties and fresh dirt on top of there, so we've really got a good way to get over the first section of the trail and get into this opening here that I've opened up a little bit more over the past couple days to now be able to fit a full-size truck. So this is not only Jeep inclusive, there are some trucks that can go on it. It's really cool too in the springtime and in the summer with all the foliage and everything growing up back here. We really had to knock it down to be able to make it through the trail. So definitely a really dense wooded area. When fall comes around in winter, this is really open back here, so you can see all sorts of things. Overall, this first section is pretty easy. I do want to add a couple obstacles to it on this first section, but we want to get some rocks and some boulders in. This is the highest part of the trail here, so it's really nice to be able to go over here because you don't really have to worry about water. Even when it's raining, when it's really wet out, you don't have to worry about too much water when you're going through this first section. It's a lot higher. It's almost level with our studio. You can kind of see off in the distance over there. But overall, it takes a lot of clearing to do this. We only push down or remove dead trees because we do really like our wildlife and everything that involves this whole surrounding nature area. So we don't remove live trees. We try and keep only the dead ones that are already half fallen over. We push those out of the way, much like there's a bunch of trees there that we had to push. But overall, it's just very scenic back here. I absolutely love driving back here. And up until now, it wasn't passable. So we had to create pretty much everything you see here in front of us. One of the things that I did do is create a couple obstacles here with the Bobcat to just give it some more, some flex and make it more interesting. So here we've got pretty good downhill. And then I rose it up I picked it up over on the driver's side. So you can kind of see, Ryan, we're leaning pretty good here. Brendan's gonna spot me. We still have sway bars connected and no air down, but see, just a nice little articulation there. Give it some good articulation to really test out with the JKS suspension we have on here. Next, so the next thing, I took a bucket and just kept scooping at the ground and created a hill afterwards. So I tried this once and it was pretty tall and it almost bottomed out the Jeep, but that's kind of what you have to do. You have to go back and forth and really test out and see what's going to be the height, the right depth. And you can see this one's pretty deep too. We're going to try and get the front to bump up on there. Pop the front up, and then we'll drop the driver's side rear right into it and get right over it. So pretty cool to be able to build our own obstacles back here. I gotta say, it's pretty awesome. So we did take an opportunity a long time ago. We went to AOAA and I taught you guys the basics, the 101s of off-roading, and what this gives us back here is the opportunity to continue teaching you guys what to do when you're out on the trail, in backwoods, in pretty much any situation. Now what we intended to do with this is to specifically make it more narrow, make it more tight, more difficult to get through. This isn't just a cakewalk to go through here. There's a lot of tight switchbacks, there's a lot of tight scenarios where you've really got to know exactly where your vehicle is. One of the biggest advantages of having this back here is that every member of our crew gets the opportunity to hop in the driver's seat and figure out exactly where each edge of the vehicle is. So you know exactly where the front is, the sides, you know exactly how far you can push it, and really enjoy these vehicles as they're intended for. So it's neat to have this in the back here and really be able to just explore and create as we want. So we can go through and do whatever we want. This is our property. We obviously keep a good eye on everything and make sure we're not, you know, interrupting any wildlife or interrupting any people, but we do own the property here, so definitely a cool chance for us to wheel. So the next obstacle that we're about to hit is one bucket loader, and we just scooped it out probably about 5 or 6 times to make a dip. Now the bucket loader is a little bit more narrow than the Jeep, so what I'd like to do with this is give the chance to go up on the sidewalk and make it almost a crevasse, so you can look down either way depending on which way you go through the trail. So in this one, we're gonna go ahead and pop it up on the passenger side. That way Ryan's looking straight down. So we're just gonna enter it in, and Ryan, you'll be able to feel how steep this is. We're about to start dropping in. Yeah, we're a little bit off camber, so I'm gonna go ahead and back this up. And
Brendan's trying to help me here, but you know.
Brendan's kind of trying to help, but he's kind of giving a lot of random directions, so. Here we go. And you can feel that without the sway bars disconnected. Our back tire was up completely off the ground. So Ryan, just check that out. We're kind of looking right at that ground here. So that's one thing. It's cool. You can do it nice and slow here. There's no one behind us on this trail, so there's no one rushing us because it's ours. No one else is on it. That was a neat. I tried to make that one. That was maybe a little bit steeper than it needs to be, but hey, the steeper the better, you know. So originally we did try and see if the JL can handle the mud and the swamp, and that was all in that section there. It is extremely deep and definitely not one to be messed with unless you've got the right equipment. But here we got another little just drop off and kind of off camber, just a little area here just to kind of play around with. That's what I like about being able to go on here, is just being able to have a good time and really just see what the vehicle can do, because that's in essence why we're building them. We want to see how they do on the trail, so we're going to make sure they do good, you know, on our very own trail. Definitely some tight turns here. You can see the switchbacks. We like to go through, and one of the things the JLs are great with is the turning radius. Even some smaller cars, I've had worse turning radiuses on the JL, so that's one big advantage of being in these Jeeps. And the 2-door is just, in my opinion, a lot better for off-roading. It's got a little bit shorter of a wheelbase, so you can get off camber a little easier. However, Brendan's pointing at me like I don't know where to go. I wonder if we should go through this path that has been completely cleared out, or should we go through the woods? I'm gonna go with woods. Okay guys, so here is the exit. We had to spend a lot of time on this. This is probably one of the most strenuous pieces. We've got another crossing here where we've got railroad ties and mud and clay actually compacted into there. Here on our property, we do have a lot of clay that's been sitting around, well, under the surface for about 4 or 5 feet. You can see down there's some clay actually. So that's that the tan and the gray. That's all clay. So when you get that stuck on and out in the sun here baking, you can create a lot of really hard pack obstacles that aren't going to sink down when this thing fills up, because it is a swamp. So we'll see what happens in the winter again, in the fall when that snow melt starts to really hit it. Here is the biggest issue we had, getting through this exit of the swamp. There's probably about 40 railroad ties and a ton of dirt here, compacted in the right way to really articulate and kind of flop around a little bit to really feel the steering wheel and the balance to stay in between them. So it'll flop you around a little bit, but it's, look at that Caterpillar. Check out this Caterpillar, guys. Nature right here at its best. Matches the Mojito almost perfectly. And with this being said, we've saved the best for last. A little bit here of my personal kind of joy of building this is giving ourselves an area to articulate with. And I decided to build a 6-foot deep ditch with some off-camber situations that will pull this Jeep and push it to the max. So let's go through this. I saved the best for last, and I built this step by step, had Brendan keep running through it to make sure it was perfect, and really gave us a chance to test out the articulation. So we're gonna give it a go. All right, Ryan, hold on. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. We're a little off camera there. What do you think of that, Ryan?
Steep.
Oh boy. Oh boy, here, let's get into it. Okay. Use that brakes. We're gonna drop in, Ryan. Oh, that was pretty wicked, man. But it is definitely a good time to make it all the way through there and just be able to flex it out at the end. That's the closing remark of CJ Off-Road, is just to be able to have a good time, enjoy the vehicle, and really see what all the modifications here can do. Okay guys, well, I've got myself into the hole. Let's see if we can get out. All right. Overall, this was a kind of an interesting thing here we decided to build. It was something that we could really test the articulation of the Jeeps, and something I wanted to do. So I've been to AOAA, Roush, all over the state, wheeling and just getting myself into awkward situations. And what better way to show you guys how to get in and out of awkward situations than having our own situation right here. So we got the Jeep stuck in there, and it's a great way to show how the suspension works. It's to show newbies and people that haven't had a chance to flex out their Jeep exactly how to do this. It took a couple hours for us to build, but overall it's going to be so worth it in the future, having the ability to take any of our Jeeps or trucks in through here. If we can get a truck in and out of there, we'll see. But to be able to go through and show you guys where the weak points and where the strengths of any lift kits we install. Now, this trail that we've built is going to definitely have a lot of modifications here in the future. This was only the first iteration of it. And we're gonna go through, add some boulders, some rocks, and some more features, and really get into it some more. So if you wanna check anything we've done with the trail, anything we've done with these Jeeps out in the past, be sure to be locked on the CJ Off-Road YouTube channel, because we're gonna continue to show you guys what we do. Till next time, I'll see you guys out on the trail.